first module of the app design unit called the apps you use. This is the first of a series of modules that will help you design and create, in fact, your own app that could be used on a mobile device such as a phone or an iPad or an Android device. Focus of this lesson and this module will be on exploring the reasons behind apps, why apps are created in the first place. So by the end of this module, you'll be able to identify the three main reasons for creating apps and explain why a particular app may have been created. So let's start with what an app actually is. So if you go to the dictionary definition of an app is an application, especially one that is downloaded by a user to a mobile device. Now, this doesn't just refer to programs on phones. Technically speaking, computer programs on laptops or desktops or tablet devices are also apps. But for the purpose of our unit, we're going to be focusing directly on those that can be used on a phone or a tablet. An app such as TikTok is an example of an app for a mobile device. One like Instagram as well is very typically used on a mobile device. In fact, if you log on a desktop or laptop into Instagram, you'll be able to log on and you'll be able to see the stream of videos and images from other accounts, but you won't be able to upload one of your own. One of the ones that sort of crosses that boundary is something like Microsoft Word. You can get that on your mobile device. You can get that on an iPad. You can get it on your phone, in fact. But you can also have it as a normal program on your computer. In fact, at the moment, like with Google Docs, they actually let you share ownership of a document between two, so you can access them on multiple devices at the same time. So why do people create apps? Well, there's three main reasons for them. Those three main reasons are you've got entertainment. So in order to create an app for entertainment, what the user is essentially trying to do is to entertain people. They need to make an app that is fun, an app that people will enjoy, that they'll engage with. It might be something like a game. It might be something like TikTok or Instagram as the examples we used before. It might even be a app such as YouTube where you can access videos, or it might even be something where you can listen to music such as Spotify, or it might be something that you can listen to audiobooks such as Audible is a good example of that. So you can see there are multiple examples of apps that can entertain, depending on what you define entertainment is. So what I might find entertaining, I might like you looking at the AFL app and seeing the latest scores of the footy, but then somebody else might not look footy at all and they'd prefer to just read a ebook on their device, which is also an app technically for entertainment. Another purpose, the main big purpose behind a lot of apps on digital devices such as phones and tablets is communication. So these sorts of apps enable people to communicate with one another. It may not be a direct communication, such as the phone app would be an example of a direct communication. I can pick up the phone app literally and go, okay, I'm going to call, my friend in another state, and they can answer the phone using their phone app. However, an indirect communication might be something like Instagram, where you're putting up a photo. Yes, you are sometimes communicating with that, but you're not actually necessarily directly communicating. So another example might be if you put up a post on Facebook, you are communicating with people, but you're not directly communicating. So that's an indirect communication. The last thing is productivity. Now, productivity you might see in the App Store if you go and download certain apps such as the Word app, such as any of the Google apps such as Docs and Sheets and Slides. that they've termed under this heading productivity. That essentially is a group of apps to make it easier for people to work. So these sorts of apps enable people to make their work a little bit easier. So let's say Word, instead of writing everything by hand and then transmitting that via a letter, you're actually able to create an entire document in there. You're able to add different styles to it. You don't have to do any of this by hand. And in fact, something like Google Docs took that a step further. It enabled you and several other people to collaborate on that app. So it was sort of a bridge between the productivity and communication. So you've got a little bit of a crossover between the two. But essentially, productivity apps are ones that make it easier for you to work. So you think like slides, allows you to make a presentation. Yes, that presentation might be also to entertain or to communicate, but the purpose of the app itself is to create something. So anything that gets created in an app, any app that sort of creates something is an app that falls under productivity. Now that might seem like it's a lot of crossovers and a lot of potentially confusion as to whether an app is one of these three things. So I've got an example here. We've got Instagram. Instagram is a classic example of all three. Generally speaking, we think it's an app to entertain or to communicate, but it actually is all three. So it's an app to entertain because it provides people with images and videos that might be funny or whatever. It allows you to take some photos with filters and masks, and you can enjoy yourself on there. It also allows you to communicate because you can share stories directly with one another, or you can share photos generally. You can respond to photos and videos with comments, and you can even tag other people in photos. So that's another example of you're directly tagging the person, but it's an indirect communication because you've posted the photo in one space. Now, if you're a business, that's probably the best way of showing productivity through this. Yes, you can create images with filters and stuff, but what allows it to be a productivity app is the fact that you can share photos and videos of products and, more importantly, create ads that can target customers from the photos you put up there. So you're creating an ad that then goes to a target audience, which you can nominate on Instagram, but you first need to upload your photo. So your photo then is transformed into an app rather than into an ad, rather than you trying to create one separately. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an overview as to the purposes behind the creation of apps and explains a little bit about the reason that people create apps. This will help you a little bit as you start to unpack example apps or existing apps to see the reasons that they might be created and the multiple reasons that they might be created. And also help to start giving you some ideas as to what you might want to create an app around. Do you want it to be solely entertainment, or is it going to be a mixture of two or all of these reasons? Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and hopefully that helped you out. Thank you.